to me that might be missing. I don't see my website.
Yeah. So on the back, it's your phone number, your email, your website.
Okay, maybe I'm.
Let me bring it up. We'll share it and see.
And then do you think I should have my, what do we call it in Sassy?
Your tagline?
Yes.
1 second. Let me just bring it up. I had it open, but I didn't keep it open. So the website's here. I mean, your tagline almost is the high producer sales expert, isn't it?
Yes.
And to me, this is, I mean, you're not a salesperson per se. I mean, you're an expert, and presenting a card just with your name on, to me, is classy.
Okay.
And then the back side of it is, here's all the information you need. I mean, is this an office line rather than a cell number, isn't it?
That's an office line, and well, it forwards to my cell.
Okay, so phone is right. Yeah, phone.
So should we leave it that way, or should we just put my cell?
If you put your cell and just say, this is actually my personal cell number, when you give that to somebody, it's like, wow, they just gave me their cell number.
Right.
Because it's not always available. So that might be another talking point when you present the card, is just say, here's my card. And by the way, this is my cell number, so you can get in touch with me directly. That would be kind of neat, actually. Mm-hmm. Just make some notes. Because if it falls to your cell anyway.
Correct.
So what is that number, Jennifer?
219.
Yeah.
688 6542.
219-688-6542.
Correct.
All I have is my email, my phone number, and my name. I don't even have, well, I have my website in the logo, and you can see it's in the logo already. I mean, I'm always a less is more kind of person.
Yeah.
But it's got your new logo, it's got new colors.
It's very, very eye-catching.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I might do is make it round edged rather than square edged, just to make it a little bit more feminine. Because you know, you can have some cards that actually have a die cut rounded corners.
Yep.
And then have it on 16 or 18 point and silk laminate it, so it's got that thickness and smoothness to it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I sat with Pedro when I designed it, so I'm biased, but I'm just looking at it.
Yeah, no. It is extremely eye-catching.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if we do so, and then yeah, I think it would be good to go.
You know what? On the address, 2158 45th Street, number 314.
Okay. And where does that go at the end? After the street?
Yes, after the street.
Okay. We can do that.
And it's 46322.
Well, that's good to know. How did we get that wrong?
Well, you're making me wonder if my signature, excuse me, I've got a dry spot. Hang on here. I just want to see something. I live in 46321. Oh, I don't even have it in my signature, so I don't know. Maybe it's wrong somewhere else, because I could have easily done that faux pas.
Let's see what, we've got 21 on the website.
Yeah, it should be 46322.
Okay, and the 314.
Correct.
Okay.
Number 314.
Okay. And then obviously the number on the website is the office line, which is probably the right thing to do.
Yeah, either way, like I say, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, if the personal number's on the cell, I think it's an extra talking point. But yeah,
Okay.
I'll get those pieces changed today as well. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I just thought it'd be great to get them printed and try if we can get them printed before the month end and get them
Well, I
somewhere.
get, I get in, I don't know, I just always have business cards on me, and I was just
Yeah,
doing training last week, and I handed out, my ASLI business card, and I'm like, oh, my new website is just so much nicer.
absolutely. Yeah, no, no, it was on the list. It was just we hadn't. We were just finishing off all the tweaks, and no, no, so it was ready to get done. So yeah, I can get Paige to make those edits. I'll get her to send you another email to just sign off, and then we'll send it to the printers.
Awesome.
And it's
Okay.
best to have it delivered to Indiana. Yeah,
What's that?
it's best to have it delivered to this address.
Yes, that's fine. Yeah, absolutely.
We don't
And then
always. Sorry, I was going to say
are
we
you
don't
going to
always.
send me an invoice for that printing, Jonathan?
Oh, no,
No, seriously, I don't expect you to absorb
no, I
that.
know you don't, but I just want to because it's Christmas.
Oh, no, seriously, just send me an invoice for the printing.
We'll see.
Yeah, seriously, I mean it.
Okay. I use a company called MooCards. Have you ever used them?
No.
Okay.
Is
It's an
that with an
experience.
L?
It's an experience. They're a United States printer, but they just take business cards to a different place, and
Mm.
they come in a beautiful little presentation box, and you just keep that in your bag. And the whole experience of giving a Moo card, and people who have Moo cards in the past know Moo cards. And I met somebody at the trade show I was at this week. I went, "This is a Moo card." She went, "Yes, you know them." I went, "Yes, I do."
Wow, I'm intrigued.
Yeah, so it's MOO, like a cow moo.
Oh, okay, Moo. I thought you were saying Lou at first.
No, moo cards. Yeah, it's an experience. And when you get them and you see how they do packaging, you get it.
Okay, cool. Love
Yes,
that.
and you're a published blogger.
Well, yeah,
Isn't that cool?
it does feel good. And I've had a decent number of views.
I was going to go through that with you and have a look. I just realized I keep changing my camera to go. I have this lovely lens on my camera to sort of stop my office looking quite so messy. And
Yeah, you're
better.
fine.
That's better. Here we go. It's still dark outside, but it's getting lighter. So
It's funny you brought that up because I constantly, when I'm on video, I look behind me and it's like all the stuff in my bookcases are relevant. They're not just there. And but I hate how it looks. I got to clean that up.
yeah, well, I sometimes play with my emojis a little bit just because I'm a social media person. But yeah, I mean, it's quite a big office, but you don't need to see my wall of post-it notes and so on. So
Oh, I think it's good.
yeah, so let's have a look at the blog. 'Cause I'm curious. So we put it on your LinkedIn. Sorry.
Hmm.
So what we did after last week was Arnhem and I sat and we just went through all of the pieces that I had on let's see, on our to-do list. So what we did was we created the new business page for
Yep.
LinkedIn. And obviously business pages are completely different. It's almost like a little mini website within LinkedIn, but it's purely I mean, people can follow you, but it's not where you get endorsements. It's not where you get reviews. It's purely a publishing place. And if you have other people on your team, subcontractors or whatever, you can have them say that they work for you. Because obviously right now it's just yourself. But that's the whole purpose of a business page, because we had Action Coach and stuff because they have their own page. Obviously, TMH didn't way back in the day, but now this is what I would expect to see: is that it literally goes straight to a company page where people can see what you're publishing, any press releases that we might do. So that's the purpose behind. And then we took some text from the website to just put it all together. Oh, you see, we've got that 21 again. Okay, I got to change that.
Yeah, I probably did it, Jonathan, because you guys wouldn't have just known that. Like I say, it's a FUPA because I live in 46321.
Yeah. And what it does when it gets mapped together is it just gives a rough idea, and people can get directions and stuff as part of the piece and stuff. You'll see it goes to Bing Maps rather than Google because Bing is owned by Microsoft. So that's the whole thing, is they're trying to stop people going to Google. So the more information we can put on your LinkedIn, the less they're going to have to go search for it. So that's what we do with that. So it's completely different than a personal profile. I know you had some concerns that it was.
I didn't understand this. So when I got the link to go straight here, I was just like, oh, everything's gone.
No, it's on top of. And
so
what Lindsay and
okay, so when somebody searches me, whether it be Accelerated or Jennifer Hines, what are they getting?
So they should get this, which is your homepage. But if they put in the business name now, the other page will show up as well. So let me just see if because typically LinkedIn search is for personal profiles. So these are the other Jennifer Hineses on LinkedIn, but obviously we're connected, so you come up first.
Right.
Second is where somebody I know has a mutual friend with this other Jennifer Hines, and third are people that I have no connection with. So that's how the second and third thing works. So this Jennifer Hines, we will have a mutual connection, and it typically shows me who my mutual connections are, typically. I don't think it actually is right now. I don't know why.
But I guess I was asking, like, so plug in Accelerated Sales and Leadership.
Yeah, not coming up at all.
Because
we don't. Oh, wait a minute. People results. So okay, so yeah, it is coming up here, but not as a company, because why is that? What profiles? Why is it doing that? You don't have. It's almost like you have a second LinkedIn. You don't have two. Must be a glitch then, because it says president owner at Accelerated Leads Knowledge Institute there, which is the only time
it's not even giving you a button to connect.
Not at all, which is really strange. If I can type, it'll be a lot better off. So where is it picking up that Accelerated? So it's here. I don't know. I don't know why it would do that. Because we have the name of the company right here.
Right.
And yet when we get to this point, it's not letting me go back. I don't know, because we're first connections. That makes no sense at all.
Maybe if you don't mind, because what I get is different. Have Lindsay or somebody else see if they're getting the same thing. I just want to make sure I'm searchable both ways.
Yeah, I mean, I think there must. I think that because you're the only Jennifer Hines that came up. It's not as if there's a second profile. I think it's just a LinkedIn glitch, but because there's no other Jennifer Hineses there. There's only the one profile, which is yours. I don't know. So, but everything else is right. So I produce it sounds like it sounds. We've got everything in that we can get in. So we've got the first article. So let's have a look at this. So this is pretty much the same as the blog on Facebook. Sorry, on the website.
Okay.
But, you know, even though it's been published like just a couple of days, I mean, 18 likes. I bet you we wouldn't get that if we posted it on your Facebook page. And 7, so let's see, the 7 comments.
I know him.
Let's just go back.
Well, I know everybody, but commented.
Oh, let's go back again. Why is it only showing 1 now and not 7?
That's weird.
Okay. That's really weird. Because they're somebody's having a glitch today, so let's just see. These are all the people. You can see their profiles. So Clint Parry. The great thing is you've written right back to these people. Philip Schaefer, Rick. This is great. And then obviously you need to write back to
yeah, I will. That was, you see what was weird was I saw that there was a new comment, but every time I went into LinkedIn it was only showing me the older ones.
Yeah, there was a button I had to
I hit that and it wasn't coming up.
Gotta love glitches, hey?
Yeah.
But the idea of the graphic that Arnhem found, and then just doing these, what we call different H2 tags. So it stands out. I mean, it really just stands out.
Right.
Call to action. We're going to link to your website. Just awesome.
Yeah.
That's how we want to do it.
Loved it.
Yeah, that's great. So the next piece was we had the other one that you wanted us to share from. What's the fellow's name again?
Dave Curlin.
Dave Curlin. So Lindsay and Arnhem went backwards and forwards by adding some hashtags, adding some pieces to that. So I think they're going to do that today if they haven't already.
Awesome.
So that'll bring that up. And then, yeah, no, it was a great article and it's very, very relevant. And half the piece with LinkedIn is the engagement piece of just you sharing somebody else's, you just staying in the feed with whatever you comment, like, and share and stuff. So I can actually go down and sort of track what you're up to. And the more you're on, the more active you are, the more LinkedIn will push your stuff forward because it's seeing you're regularly engaged. So
okay, good.
So 18 likes. I mean, on yours it would actually show the reach and stuff.
Right.
But no, and if we can get a couple of these a month going out, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Just awesome. And obviously it's on the website as well. But I betcha when I go to this, even though it's here, we probably haven't gotten any comments at all.
Oh, yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I mean, but that's why LinkedIn is so important to the strategy because that's where people are. And even though we want it here and we want it to be, just wondering if we should add a LinkedIn link to your stuff.
Yeah, because there's a follow me on Facebook, but.
Yeah, I think what it is, the plugin that we use is a free plugin. And the only free link they let us have is Facebook. When you try to add in the other links, I'm pretty sure it becomes a paid plugin. Pretty sure.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's called Starbucks. But so we've got this going to your business page right now, I believe. Let me just check. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll check. But I'm pretty sure that's why it's not showing up. But we could probably add your profile into the verbiage at the bottom. Okay. But yeah, no, this is great because this is what we want. That's it. It looks as pretty. Obviously, we were able to do a colored box here, which you can't do on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And if we add it in as a graphic, it doesn't recognize the text. It would just see it as a photograph. So that's why we didn't do it because we wanted the text to be picked up. But we've got this great picture now, and then as and when you write more posts, so we could repurpose this one into LinkedIn as well now next week.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so they wouldn't know that this was an earlier writing because it's going to be new for you. So yep, we can totally do that.
Now, I don't know if what I wrote there passes Lindsay's litmus test for, because that,
it goes via her anyway. So
yeah, she could put some eyes on that because
she's got the idea, and basically, I'm trying to create more of a hierarchy here, from going from a solopreneur 3 years ago to having all these people in the team. So Lindsay and I meet regularly. What I'm trying to do is delegate my notes in the video. So typically what I do with this call is I'll put it into our private YouTube vault, put a link into Basecamp so everybody can, if they wanted to go back and watch this video, it's already on your file. And then along with that, I just put my bullet notes of what needs to be actioned. And then
okay.
Lindsay, Arnhem, and Paige get access to that. And then Lindsay will have a conversation with Arnhem about getting this stuff done. And then I'll ask her to review the blog as well.
Right.
That way I'm not trying to do everything, and I'm not the bottleneck, which
I get it.
I mean, I did a trade show this weekend, which I haven't done a trade show in 6-7 years.
I saw that. Yeah.
And it was a very last minute opportunity to fill in for somebody who bailed. And I was in two minds, but I mean, that's the thing with being ready, right? I mean, I had my form ready, and I got 4 forms filled in. I got 31 leads in my little contest box. I got 2 people buy the bootcamp, like from the stage in a 25-minute talk. And then I've got 3 very, very strong leads that people want me to follow up with them next week. So
good for you. Yeah, that's awesome.
$3,000 investment, but I mean, I've got most of it back already. And the seeds that I've planted, plus it was a Canadian Association of Professional Speakers. So
oh, yeah.
So it was a no-brainer.
Yeah, perfect.
But it was tiring because it started on Sunday. We got back midday Wednesday. So it's like 2.5 days of my week. And it's Friday already. Oh, but it's all good. It's all good. So one thing I wanted to talk to you about was the Dockside dialogue.
Yes.
See, I have these crazy ideas that just spit out in the moment because that's who I am.
Yeah, I love it. I wish I could do that.
It's just my brain. It's a blessing and a curse because if I don't write it down and I forget, it's like, what was that idea? That's why I literally press the Zoom button and every time I do a call now, just in case. So Paige and I found 4 or 5 pictures that, in my mind, personify a dock on a lake. So she was going to send you those. I don't know if she's even had time yet to see which one you liked.
Okay.
And then she was working on Dockside dialogue in the 2 font colors. So Dockside would be blue, dialogue would be in the orange, using the font from the website so it carries through. And then if you like, I always start with the visual first. It just when I've got something to hang my hat on, I feel very good about it.
Yep.
And then my thought, as I said on the call, was these guys or ladies that you're trying to reach probably do have that second home or have a, oh, hey.
Hello.
See, I called them and said we're going to be a bit late. Can I go with you?
No, Jim's in bed.
Oh, how are you going to get home?
I don't know.
Okay.
Don't worry, I couldn't even hear her.
Oh, it's okay. We're getting Gary's car serviced, and it's the first time we've used this garage because we're in a different city. So
got it.
All good. Yeah. So I just thought, because you were saying you really want to try and reach the CFOs, the CEOs, CMOs of the companies. And
well, really just CEOs, presidents of the mid-market size companies, not so much CFOs or CMOs.
Okay, so CEO, president. Okay.
And I'm okay even with vice president of sales.
No?
Vice president of sales is good too.
Okay, got it. So what I thought we could do was, because you have the paid LinkedIn as well,
Okay.
You only have the little gold button rather than a blue button.
Okay.
So that means do you subscribe to something called Sales Navigator?
No, I've heard about it though.
Because you have the original LinkedIn Premium. They may have grandfathered you in, I don't know. But what that does is it gives us an opportunity to target people in a postcode area with a job title.
Okay.
So we could actually get that once we got the blog going, and we could say we want this to go to people in a 50-mile radius of Chicago for businesses with 5+ employees with sales of plus $3 million who have the job title CEO, President, or Vice President of Sales. And
Okay.
we can actually market, to exactly those people through Sales Navigator. So you would be coming up on their screen as a sponsored post that they would never probably ever heard of you prior to. And if we wait and we get a couple under our belt and we publish one and they click on one article and then they see several others under what we might call the Dockside dialogues, I think it could be a very interesting way of lead gen, but not selling, just positioning you as a peer-to-peer expert. And I think it could be a great strategy.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah, I think it'll work.
Now, what is your thought? Because, I'm trying to get myself established as a sales expert in the social media world. Okay. Because I'm totally an unknown in that regard. And I'm just questioning, do I try to do predominantly sales related topics that lead to, revenue generation and enhanced margins and things like that, and sprinkle in some other key topics? Or is it kind of like totally open?
Well, I mean, you're not a run-of-the-mill sales trainer.
Right.
For mass markets. I mean, you're specifically wanting to get inside a company and work with the decision maker of a company to train their team. But you definitely want to establish your expertise. Typically, I mean, the articles that we're going to write will really help towards that because you're writing. But the other piece is the hiring you as a specific trainer, and it's you. So I'd love to put some video into that. And what we could do is you and I could do a series of Zoom videos like this and record it split screen. And I'll dress up, more formally if we both did that as if we were in a boardroom meeting. And let's think about the questions that you often get asked when people are considering hiring you. And let's create 3 or 4 2-3-minute videos specifically around those questions. And then we can post those videos directly to LinkedIn. We can have those videos as part of the blog that goes a little bit deeper around that topic. We can get a YouTube channel going for you, which would have those videos on as well. And then over time, when you're working with clients and you can get some testimonies from them, from their offices, or we can get, if you did a webinar or something like that, that we could record and put that into it. That's establishing your expertise in a very professional, high caliber way.
Okay.
And the typical social media route, which you don't want to go down because you're not the low ticket $49, here's my program type person at all. So that's what I would suggest. Okay.
I mean, it sounds wonderful. It's overwhelming to me.
No, I'll walk you through it step by step.
Okay.
Because I've done this, I did this with Jennifer Deep Stratton. I did it with Sarah Rife Hecking. It's very much, we pre-plan what we're going to talk about, but it's still it's not scripted. It's still very face-to-face. And you have the 2 screens. And so I ask you the question. So I have a company. I have a sales team. So I have a sales team, which is more than I used to have. And if you might say, so, I have a team of 4 people and 3 of them are just like out there all day long and they're amazing. And I got one guy who's been with us a long time. He's a good guy, but man, does he need a motivational kick in the behind sometimes. I mean, do I just keep running with him because he's such a good guy? But when I look at his performance compared to the others, he's not in the same league. Or is it time for that, hard conversation? What do you say, Jen? Or Jennifer, sorry?
Yeah.
Those kind of questions which I know you're always trying to sort of get the highest performers go higher, but also get rid of the, not deadwood, but slower performers. I think, and then the question might be, what do you do if you have someone on your sales team who's just not who's underperforming compared to the others? That's the title. I'd watch it. And if they say it's a 3-minute watch or a 2-minute read, because there's another platform that we could get you into called Medium, which you might have heard of. It's a professional blogging platform. It's just one of these forums. And the lovely thing with Medium is it says this is a 3-minute read or a 5-minute read as part of the length of the blog. So people can see, oh, I have 2 minutes, I can read that. And so we would republish you in Medium as well as a thought leader. I'm doing a different social strategy for you than the normal because you're not the Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, mass market person. You don't want to be and don't need to be. But the higher caliber YouTube video that goes into LinkedIn, have these videos on your website, create blogs around them, and then be a publisher through Medium will totally establish your social expertise.
Okay, awesome. I like that. I just have to get better at writing.
That's fine too.
Yeah, I mean, it's so much easier, and I don't know why. I think I probably overthink it when I put a pen in my hand. Because, when I get asked a question, how much time do you have? Like I can really elaborate.
It's here and it's ready to come out, right? The beautiful thing about video is that we can transcribe it straight afterwards. So it's literally you verbatim. And then from that, then we can, if the videos are quite short, we could subtitle them, which people love to have the captions. We do that in-house. And then, because they say that 70 to 80% of video on cell phones are not listened to, they're watched. So if you have captions, they'll watch it through.
Got it.
The other thing we could do is pretty radically different. You know when you watch a YouTube video and the ad comes across the bottom?
Right.
Wait 6, 8, 11 seconds, and then you can click skip ad. They're called pre-roll ads, and the first 6 or 10 seconds is actually free. You only actually pay for the ad once it's gone past the skip ad button.
Oh.
And it can be literally cents. I mean, I listened to a fellow on Monday at the CAPS conference, and he said he's a $2 a day budget for a speaker who works with HR professionals. And he just narrowed her audience to HR professionals of medium-sized companies in Edmonton, so in Calgary area. And he had a $2 a day budget. And in 1 week, by running these pre-roll ads, he had 900 views, 70 of which people actually watched the ad running through, and she got 2 phone calls.
Wow.
So again, we could do a YouTube ad for people who live in, let's just say, Chicago with that job title and size of company. And eventually we could run our own ads against your own videos. So that way they're not getting distracted by anybody else. And that video pre-roll would then go to a landing page on your website to book a strategy call or learn more about you.
Love it.
So I wouldn't do that just yet. We need to, but I'll add that to the list of, so we could add to that too as well.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, but yeah, if you could think of some titles of questions that you regularly get asked, because typically what we do with Power Content is every time you're asked a question more than twice, we should be writing a blog about that anyway. But you probably got a number of things that's like, oh my gosh, if I had $1 for every time I get asked this question, and then what we could do, I mean, you probably wear very similar clothes whenever you go to work anyway. But sometimes we might want to just change a jacket or take a jacket off or have a couple of blouses sort of to the side or something. And then we could either do a marathon session and do 4 or 5 in a couple of hours, or we could do a couple and then come back a couple of weeks later and do a couple more.
Yeah.
So you're having a good hair day, your makeup's good, and
right.
all the pieces that go with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to do. That would be great.
Yeah, I like that strategy a lot.
And then that way, the Dockside dialogues, are dialogues, and then we write about them as well. And I think that will work out great.
Now, let me ask you, I have a question on that, because yesterday I started writing a list of ideas, and I think I went about it the wrong way, and I want to see which way I'm supposed to do
Yeah.
this. So, do you put together, like as a starting point now, I'm going to call it the topic of the dialogue,
Yeah.
or do you use the dockside metaphor? In other words, let me give you an example. I could do, I just started listening to some of these. Let me pick one that, okay, there are swans on our lake.
Oh, really?
Yeah, family of swans. So, you know, am I starting with, okay, the swans, and how do I link that to a topic, or do I do it the other way?
Well, as soon as you say swans, my brain goes to ugly duckling. Because cygnets are really unpretty little chicks, aren't they? And then they turn into beautiful swans.
They are, and it's funny because on our lake, there will be like half of the family that is gray, literally, and then the other half are white. Like there literally are ugly ducklings.
So that would be a great topic. It's like, are you the ugly duckling of the sales world? And it's like, what do you mean? It's like, you have the skill, you just need grooming, and it takes time to build your portfolio, to build your book of business. You know? And I know that. You know? I started at Black & Decker when I was straight out of university. It took me a long time to build up my list, if you like, of vendors that, you know, I represented and clients that I got. And I was walking into all these offices with the calendars on the wall of the Makita girl with, you know, a thong and topless. And I had to be the woman in the office looking at this.
Yeah.
But it was 1982 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So that kind of topic would, I mean, it would be so engaging. And then you could just say, you know, we have this Conversations that Convert course that's coming up. You might be an ideal candidate for, you know, early registration. And I'm going to be teaching this group course exactly for people who are new or newish to the sales world, but have had some great sales, some great success. You know you are going to be a sales professional. And this course could be for you. That could be a great sell-in right now. I'm glad I'm recording this because this is good stuff. The other piece too with that would be, sales professionals. Quite often we hear sales professional and instantly people go to used cars or something that realtors that just doesn't feel professional. Mm-hmm. And the topic could be, you know, truly what makes you a sales professional? And it's like, you know, as soon as you hear sales professional, you always think of the used car guy who's calling you up, or the realtor who's just dialing for dollars or knocking on your door. Sure, everybody's trying to sell something. In fact, parents are in sales, you know, kids are in sales, trying to get mom to buy them the Christmas gift that they want.
Correct.
So there's also a profession in sales that I adhere to, and this is my professional opinion of what a salesperson should be.
Yeah.
That's a blog right there.
Love that.
And then we could go through, I mean, each one of these could be a fun video to start with, and then once we've got the text, then we can just drill down and keep going with this.
So probably what I want to do on another call is just kind of tap into you. I'm very bad at linking some of these concepts into the conversation. Like I'll give you one that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But do you know what ichthyophobia is?
Mm-hmm.
It's a fear of fish, and I have it.
Swimming fish?
I love the look on your face. Yes, like I will not get in the lake because I have a phobia about fish.
You shared a post about a pedicure or something, didn't you, with your husband?
Yes, he put his feet in it.
Oh, no wonder you wouldn't do that.
Screaming, like I couldn't even stand it. I couldn't stand watching it. I left. I went and just window shopped because I can't stand it. He's cracking up. So, but I don't get in our lake. I don't even get out of the boat in the sandbar because there's fish. And it's all around fear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
if we used ichthyophobia, it's like, what's that? And perhaps that could get tied to something. I thought about, the concepts of winterizing the lake house versus spring cleanup. And spring cleanup could be
Yes.
tied to cleaning up an organization.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people's fiscal year obviously is the end of December, and it's like, how do you winterize your department? Because a lot of sales are seasonal.
Correct.
I mean, you're not going to. Nobody's selling RVs at this time of the year, I'm sure. But they'll be getting them ready for the May long or whatever it is when they have their first big push for when probably February time is RV time, I guess maybe. So we could pull some analogies around clients that you've worked with and the seasonality of sales.
Right.
That would work. I mean, you could talk about the fear. I mean, a lot of people just have a fear of presentation, a fear of being rejected, a fear of mentally, everybody has this dream of turning up in a meeting without any clothes on. They're standing there naked, and everybody has that nightmare. It's like, what is that? It's because it's just who we think we are, and we just get so embarrassed that our brain sort of goes to this weird dream, like, or the dream of just falling into oblivion, but there's no bottom to it. They're all paranoids, and they're not real.
Correct. Yep. And that could be a really juicy topic, because in sales, there's lots of fears.
And the sweat, I mean, some people get sweaty palms. I mean, literally, as they get nervous and they go to do a handshake, and you can almost feel the clamminess. I mean, that's terrible. I mean, that's like a turn off the weak, clammy handshake at the beginning of a meeting.
Right, right.
So even like the power handshake, the stature as you walk in the room, the eye contact that you give to people as you're presenting. I mean, these are all pieces that you do so naturally, I'm sure. So we could have the top 5 tips of, crushing it in a sales presentation. First of all, have a white pressed shirt, that looks just like bang when you walk in the door. Ties, ties may be optional these days. A lot of people, certainly on the West Coast, hardly anybody wears a tie unless you're a barrister or a lawyer, or, I don't know anybody wears a tie anymore. Typically, weddings and funerals, not even as much. But so you could even talk about what do sales professionals wear these days? Bust jeans and a Robert Graham jacket and a white beautiful dress shirt enough these days, or should it still be a 3-piece suit and a white shirt and a tie as it used to be, right?
What's funny? The direction I would take that is opposite. It's funny. I love this,
yeah.
But I would go to what you wear on the inside as opposed to the outside.
Oh, yeah.
That's where I would go. Yeah, I would go into how you're preparing what's going on up here. Now, don't get me wrong. We've got to look professional. So I'm not even saying you went the wrong direction as far as what I teach.
No.
But where my brain goes is the mental preparation for that sales presentation that will absolutely determine the quality of the conversation.
So there's 2 blogs right there. One is like, what do you wear when you're preparing for a sales meeting? And you say the first thing you're going to think about is the clothing. And today we're going to talk about that. But next time I'm going to talk about what you wear on the inside, and then they're going to want to wait for next week's.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm getting excited now. This is where this is going to establish you socially, because these are going to be fun. They're going to be seasoned, and it could be a whole dialogue. I mean, you could even do this with one of your daughters, not just me. You could do it with Jeff, because he's in his business, or other colleagues, even the guy from. It's not OMG. What is it? OMG?
Yeah,
it is OMG. I mean, you know him quite well. Maybe this almost becomes the beginning of a podcast at this point.
that's what I ultimately want to do.
Yeah, but all of these topics would be eventually podcastable.
And I'll tell you something else, Jonathan. And mind you, what I'm about to say doesn't come from me, because I don't necessarily see it, of course. But I'm often told, like when I'm speaking or I'm training, the word that's often used is you come across charming. Like And I don't know essentially what I'm doing, but I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would want whatever that is to come across if I'm going to start moving over into the video world.
Definitely, definitely, and your color palette of what you wear on the videos, on the photographs going forward. And the lady who was at the Sassy event, Sue Zimmerman, who spoke about Instagram, she has a 4-color palette of her Instagram pictures, and every time she's on Instagram, she's got this purple or yellow or pink or green. She's got these 4 tones that she always wears clothes in, and it's what she wears becomes her brand as part of the visual, which we could look at too. But I get the charming. I mean, when I see your grandchild, I mean, those pictures of him, even that little Santa booty.
I know.
Oh, it was just so. I mean, you just want to pick him up and
I know. I know.
And, you can bring that piece into it, just because obviously you've matured in family, so that you know a grandma. I mean, it's not that you're old by any stretch; you're a very young grandma, but just. Even if you had a picture of him and just said, what's his name again?
Will.
No. You could even have a blog, with a picture of him or you holding him and just say, hey, my grandson Will. I mean, he's 5 weeks old. Is it 5 weeks or months?
5 months.
5 months. Sorry, yes, of course, August. And just say, what's his life going to be like in 18 years' time? If I go back, to when I started college, the internet didn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook wasn't even, Mark Zuckerberg wasn't even born, let alone thought about it.
Right.
Who knows what life is going to be like in 18 years' time? And I'm just thinking about my grandson. So you totally bring in the warmth of the grandmother piece. Sorry, Debbie's just. No,
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, it's good. That's been butt downing. But she said, here's what I do know. No matter what technology does in the next 18 years, people will still buy from people who they know, like, and trust.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
We're recording.
Yeah, I love
that. And you could say, you could even speak into your children right now around the breakfast table about the values of professional courtesy, trust, listening, not waiting for somebody else to stop before you speak, but actually listening, and just bring in some of those parental pieces. I'm sure your girls are just phenomenal at that you've instilled into them. Mm-hmm. And you could come at it from a completely different take as well. I'm getting chills on this one.
Well, that could be really cool.
That would be very cool too. So that's probably six, 7 blogs right now.
Okay.
Dialogues.
All right, good. So is the goal, Jonathan, so we'll repurpose the one I already wrote that we talked about in the beginning. Yeah, right. Dr. Lindsay kind of cleans that up as needed.
It's just me. Sorry, Debbie's texted me something.
Yep.
I booked it on their website over a week ago on my calendar. That's how it's there. They have just an oil change. Yeah. I've got the email. It says, yeah, I got an email. I booked him in and everything. And I called him this morning and said we were running a bit late as well. Well, I called the phone number from the website, and it was a guy called Daniel.
Are you good?
My bad.
What'd you do?
I booked it in for last Friday.
Oh.
I said, "Is they have an appointment online?" I said, "I booked it in." And she said, "Well, like, they don't know why I'm here." I said, "I got the appointment." And I just looked at the email and went, "Oh, crap."
I saw a look on your face. That is hysterical. I've done that. There you go. You've got a new blog yourself.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh well. But wouldn't you think they'd have called last Friday and said, "You have an appointment," and you didn't show up?
I know.
The thing is, I have it written in my book and everything. I must have just picked the wrong Friday on the calendar because
Right. I've done it.
I had it down for 8:30 this morning. It's on my calendar and everything.
Yeah. No, I've done it. And I'm just laughing because it's that moment of realization. You know what I mean? Like, I've been there where your whole inside goes, "Oh no."
So that could be a blog too. I mean, you make an appointment, you expect someone to show up, you're there, and they don't show.
Yeah.
Do you just take it as a person they didn't want to see me, or do you just take it that there was something completely forgotten, or there was a miscommunication? How do you handle that? Because that happens, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, that alone is an amazing.
Okay, so this is going to go back to another question. So we're talking about Dockside dialogues, right?
Yeah.
Or we're just talking about blogs in general.
Yeah. Well, what we typically do is we categorize the blogs. So we'll have some that are very specifically to the CEO.
Okay, that's where I was going.
And then the others are a little bit more general. So what we'll have
Okay.
to do is when we do these titles is we'll just pick which one we think goes under which category. But yeah. So some very specifically and then some
Dockside dialogue.
general. Sorry.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So are we going to target those upper, echelon titles for Dockside dialogue? Just
yes,
so I
think so. Because that's a peer-to-peer thing. Whereas obviously when you get the course running, we want to build momentum so that a lot of people might want to buy into your course.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense.
Cool. Now the sun's coming up and it looks like my face is on fire. So I'll close my blind.
Oh, no.
So I don't know if I ever showed you my view, but
oh my gosh.
So that line of hills is Washington State.
Oh, so that's awesome.
We live 3 miles from the state border. So I can see America from my house.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And then to the left, which you can't see, is one of the Cascade Mountains called Mount Baker. So in Washington, there's 5 big snow-capped dormant volcanoes, one of which was Mount St. Helens. You remember that exploding?
I do, yeah.
But Mount Hood, Rainier, and Baker are all in a chain, and we live about 30 miles from Baker, so I can see this snow-capped mountain whenever it's clear, every day of the year.
That is so cool.
Yeah, so it's pretty inspiring view.
Oh, I love the mountains. I'll tell you, they do something to me.
Yeah, me too. Never gets old, does it? Yeah.
No, I love it.
So we got lots to do.
Yeah, it's
I'll itemize this, and then we'll create a base camp, and we'll start. I'll give you a list of blogs back, and then when do you think you'd like to do some video? You want to do it in the new year? Do you want to do it over the holidays? I mean,
good question.
You're a bit quieter over the holidays. It might be a good day to spend some time together.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I don't have a house full of people, so it'll just depend on the day.
Well, I'm very flexible at that time of year, so.
Okay, let me look at that, because that's not a bad idea. I just want to be prepared too.
Of course, yeah, and we'll talk about it. It'll be very casual. We can always do a few takes and edit them afterwards as well.
Okay.
Brilliant.
And maybe even before we officially do it, we have a practice round.
Of course we do. We are practicing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
If you can't tell, one of my weaknesses is I tend to be too much of a perfectionist. So, yeah.
That's not a weakness.
Well, it can be.
Well, I'm with you. I mean, I hate things that are not perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, I really, really strive for excellence in everything. And there's a phrase actually about that. And it's that in the end, excellence becomes a practice, not a... Yeah, I'm with you.
But no, yeah, this is taking me into a territory where I've been highly uncomfortable. So, because I don't like looking at myself. And yeah, and I think a lot of women are that way. That's what I hear at least. But yeah, so, and then it's the staging. Like, where do you suggest I would be?
Well, we'll probably find a few, because you're on a laptop. I'm taking it with a camera in the laptop.
Yes.
And the sound is fine for what we're doing right now in the room. So we would do some from here. You come into the Sassy event in Tucson?
Mm-hmm.
So I could bring my tripod and we could find a quiet place, and we could do a couple like armchair to armchair as well.
Oh, that's a good idea.
We could do a couple while we're in Tucson too.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, let's get some around. I mean, just from where you are now, we might just put the laptop maybe on a couple of books to just get a little bit higher, so you're not looking down so much.
Yeah.
Because I can't see, but I have I don't use the camera in my computer at all. I have a separate webcam, which is why I can zoom in and out with it, and it just gives me that little bit higher visibility. But I can zoom in, or I can put it to the side or whatever. So yeah.
You know what we also might do in January, if it would be okay, is get a photo of me standing on the stage, just so we can use
definitely.
it. You know what I mean? Because a lot of what I do isn't on stage per se, so I would like to have.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. I just realized it's 9:05 and I have a 9 o'clock that somebody's waiting for me to call them.
Oh, yeah, you can go. Okay. No worries.
This has been great.
Awesome. Good, I'm inspired.
Very excited by this. Thanks, Jennifer. Have a wonderful weekend.
Yeah, you too. All right, bye-bye. And